Do you ever wonder, what if I was to set up my own game dev company and make a ridiculous amount of money? Doesn't that sound great? But then the crushing reality of actually I don't know how to make a game comes smashing down on top of you. Well, what if I told you there was a load of ways to make a ridiculous amount of money without actually making a game as a game dev company? Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am the Spiffing Brit, and today we're going to be playing the fantastic Software Inc. game. This is a lovely game/software dev-based tycoon game. You can manage basically everything. It's what I wanted Game Dev Tycoon to be, and oh, it's so much more, and it's not even been released yet. It's fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Game Dev Tycoon. It's a beautiful game, but Software Inc. for me, it's just the pièce de la résistance which Game Dev Tycoon needed. Anyway, enough of that. What are we actually doing here today? We're going to be playing this game, and we're going to be getting very rich very quickly using the Spiffing Brit approved financial acquisition techniques. Or TFAT for short. I know, my acronyms aren't the best, but don't worry, they'll get catchy as soon as the psychotropics which I slipped into all of your cups of tea start to activate. Anyway, I've said enough already, let's dive into this video. So make sure you're sat back, you're relaxed, and you have a nice warm cup of Yorkshire tea in front of you as we get ourselves ready to play the lovely Software Inc. Oh, now look at this. This is our fantastic first establishing moment. We need to create the legendary company director who is going to lead the glorious company of Spiffco Star 100% Real Game Dev Company Winky Face. Yeah, I know, it's a long company name, but it's necessary. And before I name our lovely man, I think I actually want to just colour him in. I've got a great idea. I think we want him to genuinely be wearing the most dashing suit imaginable. So yes. Oh, full tuxedo. This is perfect. Oh yes. Look at this man. So handsome. So dashing. His hair too must be jet black. His eyebrows, however, are fiery red. For this man has passion. Theoretically, I think he might accidentally end up looking a smidge like Rihanna Keeves. I mean, you'd suddenly do that and yes, it's looking pretty Rihanna Keevesy if you ask me. Look at that. It's literally Rihanna Keeves. However, no. This is not Rihanna Keeves. This is the legendary Benjamin Ducoc. He's a wealthy individual who has decided to make even more money with the existing £10,000 of starting fund which he actually has. I know, he doesn't actually sound like he has a lot of money, certainly not enough to actually set up a company, but don't worry, life finds a way. Now, when it comes to our lovely individual, what we're actually going to want to do is just crank up that service skill of his, decrease everything else, and don't worry, it will all make sense soon enough. You see, Benjamin Ducoc, even though he's going to be running a game dev company, he won't actually have any idea how to do any development. What we're going to do is give him some basic system program 2D abilities, basically make it so that he can do everything at least mildly. When it comes to him as a leader, he's actually going to be really effective when it comes to HR. He's going to be great at convincing people to join our company, and he can also be really social. But this is where his actual true abilities come to light, in the service sector. You see, Benjamin Ducoc does not actually have a degree in anything other than law. This man has been to the finest law institutes across the land, and he has become so good at law. You know, he just knows all of the law. He knows how to do the law, he knows how to smell the law, and he knows how to eat the law. This man's got it all. So what we're going to do is we're going to be leading effectively a lawyer into running a game dev company to make a lot of money. Now, you might already be starting to see where this is going, because this doesn't seem very game dev-y. I mean, what's a game dev company without any games? Well, it's all about scams, ladies and gentlemen, because we're not even Spiffco, really. We're actually Scamco Incorporated Ltd. Now what we can do is we can up our starting loan if we really wanted to give us a huge amount of money. The only downside is you start with 100,000, you're going to have to pay back 400,000. So instead we're just going to start with a regular 10,000 which we're meant to actually start off with. When it comes to game difficulty, it doesn't matter. You can do medium, you can do hard, you can do easy. This exploit is going to work on every single difficulty thanks to the creative use of game mechanics. Anyway, it's time for us to pick a place to put ourselves down. Now what we can do is we can just straight up buy a place. We can get an empty plot and work. However, it costs around about 50,000 for an empty plot, so naturally we can't do that. Instead, our company is going to have to start out quite simply renting a small garage. It's not the best, but for what we're going to do, trust me, it's going to be great. And here we are in the fantastic game. This right here is our tiny office space to work with. It might not look like much, and that's because, quite frankly, it is nothing. The year is January 2010, and well, our company has just been established with only one employee, the legendary Benjamin de Kock, or for short, Ben de Kock. Hey, now you get it. All of my names have a reason behind them. And so do all of my decisions, which is exactly why we're going to get our company started by making more money on our first day than most people will make in their first year of this game. How on earth are we going to do such a thing, you might ask? Well, fear not. What we're going to need is a bunch of glass tables, I know. We're going to be creating a slight hellscape of an office environment by cramming a ridiculous quantity of people into a very tiny space. Don't worry, however, we're going to be giving them very expensive comfy chairs because money is not actually going to become a problem. Trust me, we are going to get very rich very quickly. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to basically set up a glorious design for the tiny room and space which we actually have rented. Basically, we just want to cram in as many workers as possible with no actual demonstration of workers' rights or anything like that, because honestly, the only laws which I abide by are the Geneva Convention, and to say I even abide by them is quite a stretch of the imagination. So what we're going to be doing is we're also going to be whacking down phones. Now you might wonder why on earth we're adding phones to all of our desks. That's an extra $80 we're adding to the workers. Well, firstly, it allows us to harass them with endless phone calls to remind them that they should work, but secondly, it also increases their serviceability, meaning our fantastic one employee with a lawyer ability will lawyer even better. I know, trust me. Why on earth does a game tycoon game have anything relating to lawyers? Don't worry, will all be explained soon. There's only one thing which I don't like about this game. It hasn't got any tea. It only has coffee. Owned by nobody. That's exactly how I feel about coffee. It should be owned by nobody. Filthy heretical beverage. And you know what? We should probably actually spruce up this work environment. Make it look beautiful so that people don't immediately want to cry. Although really they should, because there's no escape from this place. And what better way to do that than just by filling this room with the same picture over and over again to make them feel more comfortable with their surroundings. Ah, perfect. This isn't ominous at all. So we've got everything set up perfectly. Right, it's our company's first day, and it's also going to be the day of the arrival of our first ever employee, ourselves, Ben de Kock. And I'm slightly concerned by the very chunky cats which are running around the car park. Since when were they in addition to the game? But hey, it matters little, for Benjamin de Kock has arrived, and he is ready to make a ridiculous amount of money. So what are we going to do on our first day? Well, naturally, we're just going to slam ourselves down on our desk, and logically, we need to actually develop something. Develop some software, perhaps. There's so many things you can do in this game. You can develop a straight-up operating system, a 2D editing suite, an audio tool, like, say, I don't know, just an MP3 player, an entire game, office-based software, antivirus. The system goes on and on. It's fantastic. If you want to make a game, you can go wild. You can make it multiplayer. However, make sure you get some good technology in there, because a 2005 level MMO, it's going to cause some issues. You can even change the category of game. It's fantastic. It's so good. And you know what? We're going to make a game. We're going to make the best game ever imagined, okay? The most popular game of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Fallout 77. That's right. It's a new, original, hip RPG game. No one's ever heard of it before. It's going to be great. What's it going to have? Customizable character, dialogue trees, branching stories, mod support, physics, open world. It's going to have post-processing, advanced HUD design, 3D graphics with shadows, facial animations. It's even got VR. We're going to add cutscenes, procedural generation, wacky physics. I know it's going to be great. Boost your launch marketing with viral videos by having a ridiculous quantity of bugs in our games. That's what we want. That's how all Fallout games should launch. It's also going to have adaptive music, recorded dialogue, I know, and digital exclusive music. Oh, it's going to be so good. One thing we're also going to add in for fun is multiplayer, and we're also going to make it an MMO. I know, controversial idea, because why does it need to be? But you know, that doesn't matter, because we're going to produce it. A one-man team is going to make Fallout 77. Apparently, if we were to put a huge team on this, it would take approximately 11 years to make. We're going to make the entire game in a month, ladies and gentlemen. That's how good we are. The game says we should probably have 12 designers, 17 programmers, and 7 artists. We have none of that. We won't need any of that, trust me. Oh, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Expected interest 100%. 50%. Consumer reach 2 million. Oh, so amazing. However, as you know, we only have £2,700. We don't actually have enough money to make this game. If we were to start making it, we'd run out of money. We don't even have enough money to print copies of this game. It's terrible, but don't worry, we can just get a publisher to help with the funding of this game. It means they receive a 14.4% royalty in all of our sales, but they give us the 1.1 million necessary to make this game. Doesn't that just sound fantastic? So ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to sign ourselves up with a publisher. Good old Kick Studio is going to publish Fallout 77, and trust me, this game's going to give the audience a real kick, if you know what I mean. And this is our summary. It's going to go well. Apparently it's going to take quite a lot to actually make this, but trust me, we're going to make it. So let's develop. Oh, what's this? No one is competent as a level 2 system designer in the selected teams. Are you sure you want to continue? Sorry, are you saying we actually need capable game designers to recreate people's favorite childhood fantasy games? And no thank you. The software you're making is very complex and will take time to develop. Without adding any consumer interest, you should consider selecting fewer features. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes! The size of the team you've chosen is quite small for a project of this size. Are you sure you want to continue with this level of hype? Yes. And so it begins. Fallout 77, Iteration 1, Followers 0. What are we going to do? Well, the first lines of code have just been added down. Even though you can't see it because of how big this game is, a very small quantity of progress and a very thin green line has just been added here to show that something is happening. However, even though we are in Iteration 1, we are going to move this up the development chain and throw it straight into an alpha without any planning whatsoever. There is actually no code for this game because we've only spent 5 minutes and now it's in alpha. But don't worry, now it's in alpha, we're going to continue working on it just a bit more, right after Ben decides to make himself a bit of the devil's beverage. I know, you ever wonder why Fallout 76 turned out the way it did? It's because it was up to bloody Ben over here, who was just drinking coffee, sat in a windowless hellscape with just no natural outside light, you know? Oh goodness. Sometimes I feel sorry for them, but then other times I remember what they made. Anyway, so Ben's worked on the alpha now for at least about half an hour, and consequently, it needs to get promoted up to the beta phase. So let's do a bit of beta testing. And you know what? Beta testing has gone well. It's gone so well that Ben here has actually decided to start taking a nap at his desk. You know what? That's fine. And you know what happens after you fixed 0 bugs in the beta? You release that game. It's ready. Do you want to start marketing for this? Marketing is crucial for your product's success. Sure. Let's market this. Bam. We're going to market it. It's going to be great. We're going to sell stuff and we're going to end the marketing immediately. So technically, we've just released a game instantaneously. We have generated 1.1 million. Reasons why? We got money from the publisher. As soon as we accepted that we were going to publish this game, the publisher goes, right, you're going to need $1 million to make this game. Here, take $1 million and make a game. And that's exactly what we've done. Now with our $1 million, what are we going to do? We need to start hiring people in the service sector with law specializations. And let's start looking. And we're going to hire Son Combs over here. He's going to be a fantastic addition to our team, as well as Shelby Hicks. Shelby Hicks, you are very good with law, so wabam, you're going to get hired as well. And we could probably do with also one last employee who is very, very skilled with law, like quite possibly the most skilled lawyer in the lands, and that would of course be Greladine Patton over here. She's going to be great. Does she actually work with the team? She does, so she's going to get hired. Wabam, welcome. So there we go. We now have a brand new team who all need to be kitted out with computers, so let's slam those down. And they're also all going to need their handy phone so that they can do all of their important lawyer work. Now you might be wondering, why on earth have I told a publisher I'd make a game, not make the game, still keep the money, and think I can get away with this? Well, that's because, ladies and gentlemen, I have the law on my side. Oh, I also have the power of God and anime too, but you know, we don't talk about that. Anyway, we're also going to cancel support for our game, and I'd say all in all, this has been a successful first day for our company. We've managed to make 1.1 million. That's more than most companies make. I've got to be honest, it's quite a lot of money. We're also going to buy a bunch of stocks in our own company because honestly, we might as well. Anyway, well, bam, time to move forwards to the next day. I jumped into the midpoint of the video when you were least expecting me. That's right, it is I, the Spiffing Brit, here to bestow upon you my legendary wisdom, and also to remind you that, hey, if you've enjoyed this video so far, you should probably give it a like. After all, 1 like directly equals an entire tea bag, which I shall consume. Probably not today, because knowing this video will receive 10,000 likes, and 10,000 tea in one day. My goodness, if I was to drink that, the entire world would come to an end in a fiery blaze of glorious success and a strong smell of tea. And on the topic stomach of a strong smell of tea, what better way to celebrate hitting 1 million subscribers than buying your very own piece of the Spiffing Brit? I know. Thanks to our lovely chappies who host our merchandise, they've given us a lovely code here, T1million, which grants you a lovely 15% off all purchases made of my glorious merchandise, be it perfectly balanced Yorkshire tea advertisements, be it this beautiful mug which explodes if you add coffee to it. The list goes on with what fantastic products we have for you. But enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. I have an important question for you. What game do you want to see next? We have so many games which I have exploits for. We have Rome Total War. We have XCOM 2, which I recently accidentally discovered even more of an exploit for. Heck, even Civ 6 I need to really go back and take a look at, because there's a big exploit there which needs to be shown off to the developers. Anyway, it's up to you, ladies and gentlemen, because you are the important members of the community who drive this channel. So go down, shout in the comment section, upvote the ideas that you love, but most importantly, go in there and wish each other a merry, fantastic day. And I hope that you have a fantastic day, you lovely people. Anyway, back to the video. Let's get making even more money without even doing a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship. I know, if I was really going to set up a game company, I'd have just made it advertisements for Raid Shadow Legends. Now that's where the money is. You're accused of breaching publishing contract and are being sued by Kick Studio for 1.1 million. Do you wish to settle this immediately or take it to court? Reasons given: the funded product did not meet expectations. Well, you could say that again. Right, we're gonna take them to court because we're gonna win this case, ladies and gentlemen. We have 8 months to defeat them, and trust me, we're going to defeat them. We now have a team of 4 glorious lawyers to make some absolutely hilarious things. Oh my goodness. Oh, and a product has been reviewed. Review of Fallout 77. Scamco is ready with its first gaming release. Scamco is a newcomer and they are pretty new in the gaming scene. Fallout 77 is really bad quality. It's likely they forgot to actually write any code and it runs extremely poorly. There's nothing to look at or listen to and it's horrendous. To wrap this up, Fallout 77 is well worth the price. It's probably not going to move many copies. They still need to make a name for themselves in this market. They should up their marketing game. Yeah, we should probably do that. Anyway, we've got to defeat this court case. So our 4 glorious lawyers are hard at work, writing up a perfect reason as to why we did completely nothing wrong. Look at them, hard at work. If anything, we treat them too much by giving them a window to look out of. Anyway, that's their first day done, which technically is an entire month in this game, and they've already managed to do about a third of the legal process required to explain why what's happened is perfectly fine. You know what, I think we should probably hire another employee. Let's get one more lawyer. And well, would you look at that, day 2 is over and we have currently done pretty well. We can actually at this point settle outside of court and we'd only have to pay them 700,000, meaning what would happen is we'd actually be perfectly fine and we'd turn a profit of around about $400,000. That's not what I want. I want to turn a profit of 1.1 million and consequently we're not settling for anything. We're writing up that court case. We're currently holding a meeting about how awesome our court case is going to be, and you know what? I think we've got it. We have 6 months to defeat it, and in just the span of 3 months we've completely smashed it, and we have done it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to win this court case. Well, bam, the case is over. You successfully defended yourself. So our reputation has taken a bit of a tank due to the lawsuit, but we didn't really have a reputation to start off with anyway. And with that sorted, we have 800,000 in the bank and a lawsuit behind us. You know what that means? It's expansion time. So we've moved ourselves to a place called Skyscraper Inc., which is, you know, a pretty chill place. It's got a lot of space for us to expand, which is kind of exactly what we want, as we're going to be needing a lot of lawyers. So immediately we're going to just fill up this place with a huge quantity of desks, trust me. We're going to be needing as many employees as physically imaginable, and we're also going to be needing sick rooms to host massive board meetings in. Oh yes, it's all going to be executive chairs. We are splashing the cash now, ladies and gentlemen. We have all of the money in the world. And perfect. I do believe we've got everything set up just with enough space for us to expand our operation to a glorious 9 employees. All of course are going to be pretending to be game developers, but actually just be really awesome lawyers. You know what happens when you have a bunch of lawyers? You can start making more things. So it's time for us to make an operating system. What better operating system name than This Is a Scam? Anyway, naturally, we're just going to whack on all of the most expensive additions which you can possibly add to your glorious creation, including microphone surveillance, which allows you to listen in on your users' conversations, find and fix bugs before they're even reported, and of course the risk of getting caught of harvesting millions of user data. But hey, that's just what happens. So with a consumer reach of 138 million, naturally a publisher is going to be quite happy to fund this, and so Kick Studio once again is going to offer us 1.6 million in order to publish this operating system. Oh, it's going to be good. You know what? I think we're ready to throw ourselves into this, ladies and gentlemen. So we're bam. Production of This Is a Scam is about to start. And yes, I know we don't have enough staff at all to complete This Is a Scam, but life finds a way. So where are my employees? Are they not coming in today? No, of course not. I know, we've got a brand new huge office space. Anyway, we're bam. First things first, we have our glorious meeting with good old Benjamin over here, who's got everyone around the table and is currently explaining how we have just made 1.6 million by effectively promising nothing. What better yet is we're about to develop This Is a Scam up to the alpha stage. Sadly, you can't promote it immediately as no work has been done. However, that's not going to stop Ben from literally going over to his computer, typing down 4 things, and then job done. Anyway, that meeting lasted about an hour, and now they've got to work on the alpha. As you can see, they've done 2% of the art necessary for this operating system, and already that's too much. I don't want to actually pay them for that, so we're updating it to the beta. And are they actually going to be able to fix bugs? They fixed 2 bugs. How they've managed to even find bugs in something which is just 2% art, I'm quite impressed by, but it matters little as we're about to release This Is a Scam to the market. Naturally, we're not even going to market it, and we're not even going to produce any copies of this game, and immediately we might as well cancel support for This Is a Scam because it's going to have no active users come tomorrow. So yes, we're going to cancel support, but it's only 11 AM. We still have many more hours in the day. What can we do with them? Well, we're going to make ourselves an audio tool. What a great idea. It's going to have delay and reverb, it's going to have auto tune, it's got everything. Oh yes, all of the additions. Naturally, we're going to need a publisher who's going to be able to offer 700,000 in funding, and once again it's the lovely Kick Studio who are happy to produce this audio tool called Everything Hurts. It's perfect. And let's launch. So we're bam, the first iteration happens, immediately it's developed, then we're going to immediately promote it again, and finally we're going to release it onto the market. And of course with no funding and no physical copies. Job done. That's a second thing on the market, ladies and gentlemen, and we now have 3 million. Our company's value has gone crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the stocks. The stocks of our company are suddenly worth so much more. You know what we can do with our money? We can even deposit a huge quantity of it into a bank. Let's genuinely just straight up deposit 2.7 million into a savings account. It's going to be great. We can make a lot of money off of that bad boy. Anyway, you know what? I think that's enough work for the day. We're going to send the team home. They've done a fantastic job because tomorrow they're going to have to go in and fight 2 different lawsuits. And we're bam. Kick Studio wants to take us to court. We're going to do that. So we have 7 months to defeat the first one, 10 months to defeat the second one. It shouldn't be too complicated. Oh, they're even going to have a meeting about how awesome these court cases are going. Perfect. 6 months to settle it all, and honestly, we are smashing it. But with the amount of money we have, we might as well hire another person. And what we're going to actually do to speed up this process is we're going to put the entire team on just 1 court case at a time. If you have them split across multiple, you're going to actually diminish your chances of being able to beat the court cases before the timer expires. This game, however, it's very limited in terms of its repercussions, and worst comes to worst, we just simply have to pay it back. We've kind of created a bit of a strange dystopian setup where I've put cubicle walls in front of all of the workers now so they don't see the back of the employee's head in front of them because, you know, that would distract them. However, it's kind of worked by me putting a massive cubicle wall inside of a window just so that poor old Anita Marshall over here just can't even have any freedom. I'm sorry, windows are a luxury we just can't afford to give you people. Anyway, it looks like we're about to defeat this court case today, so that's a very fantastic sign. Of course, we need a big meeting to talk about how we've just crushed it, and there we go, we've done it. So that's 1 court case sorted. Yes, our business reputation has just tanked into the floor, but who cares because we have a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, we've already accrued 17 grand on the savings of the interest of the money we've just put in an account. This is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely ridiculous. We started out with 10 grand. This is perfect. Now, the game is currently panicking because we're headed on a slippy slope towards bankruptcy. Look, we're spending 70 grand a month on the salaries of some of the greatest lawyers in this country just to defeat ridiculous court cases for 1.6 million. But we're bam, we've done it. The case is over. We've successfully defended ourselves. Once again, business reputation tanks, but apparently in this game you can't get a number lower than 0, so it doesn't matter. Who cares that we have 0 market recognition? We are a company which no one has ever heard of, and honestly, that works. You know what we need? We need an FPS game, a first-person shooter game like no other. It's going to have a customizable character with dialogue trees and a branching story. I know it makes no sense because guess what? It's also going to be an MMO. And of course, recorded dialogue, because who doesn't love playing an FPS game like CSGO and then suddenly the bots start talking to you with perfectly recorded dialogue. We're going to add bloom, a nice HUD, and of course we need shadows, facial animations. It needs to be VR. We're going to want cutscenes. We're going to want everything, even wacky physics, because what says esports like wacky physics? Anyway, give us funding. 1.1 million? That's going to be enough. That's perfect. Let's make this game. It's gonna be amazing. It's CS No. So we're bam, develop time. And immediately everyone's going to put down a little bit of code and we're going to hit develop. Should we put in a bit of art and code? There we go, 2% art. That's enough. We're going to promote. Fix any bugs. I'll give you a couple of moments. 8 bugs were fixed. Amazing. And now marketing begins. We're going to hit no. We don't need marketing. And that's the company day over. We've just gained like 1.3 million. Oh no, we've been found breaching our contract. Let's go to court about it and crush them in court with our glorious company. Scamco is a newcomer. They are pretty new in the gaming scene. CS No is not a well-made product. It's likely they forgot to actually write the code. It runs extremely poorly. There's almost no art to speak of and it's really poor. Overall, we think CS No is great value. It's probably not going to move many copies. Yes, that's a shame. That's a real shame, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. And what's this? Large growth this month for Scamco. Scamco made a whopping 700,000 this month, making them worth 3.2 million with 3 releases in their catalog. Look how good our company is. I know, it's amazing. Now the thing is, in this game, you probably do actually want to run a real company. You probably do actually want to get playing the game in a fun, realistic way. And if that's the case, fantastic. Because what you can do, ladies and gentlemen, is with the money you've made using this exploit, you can sit down and you can set up your perfect company. You can mess about because you know, hey, if everything goes wrong, it doesn't matter because we can always scam out another publisher. It's going to be great. I mean, this is the main reason why EA won't actually give me any press releases for their games, because you know they also fell for the publishing trick, but you know they'll never legally know it was me who did it to them. A wink wink, nudge nudge. Perfect. Anyway, that court case was just absolutely thrashed. We did that one in basically a month and a little bit. That's perfect. So we might as well develop more software. Now I know those of you who aren't used to seeing games being played this way will think, hang on a second, what are you doing here? Why are you doing this? No one plays games this way. This makes no sense. And ladies and gentlemen, trust me, it does okay. We here at Spiffco like to play games in ways which aren't actually intended. We do things which no one else ever attempts or thinks is actually viable. We play games in a unique way and have a lot of fun whilst doing it. And part of that is thanks to all of you. You know, ladies and gentlemen, just a year into our company, it has skyrocketed in terms of value. We're roughly valued at around about 6 million now. We have effectively infinite money. We are worth so much. We've created 6 original IPs and made profit on each and every single one of them. But this is just the way we like to play our games, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, if you've enjoyed watching, then feel free to give this video a like and join the legendary Scamco today, as we 100% promise not to violate your employee benefits. Wait, actually, are we even giving you benefits? We best not be, that would be wrong. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've been the Spiffing Brit. I hope you've had an absolutely lovely time here today, and if you have, feel free to give the video a like and do consider subscribing to join our legendary community of video game exploiters who just like to have an absolutely fun time. As always, a massive thank you to each and every one of my Patreons who make these fantastic videos all the more possible. Thank you very much for your continued support, you lovely people. And hey, if you're sat there wondering what video you'd like to watch next, look no further than this one on screen now, hand chosen by myself to be absolutely perfect for you. Anyway, I'll see each and every one of you in the next one. Have an absolutely lovely day and goodbye for now.